I bought this land about 35 years ago, and there was a house, A-frame on the basement, and it burned. And a guy brought in a track hoe or a backhoe or something, cleaned it out, dug around the foundation, dug all the dirt back, got rid of all the burned wood, and I bought the place. And then after I retired, we started on fooling with it after I retired. Now here, what we're doing here is we're walking up the road from our property starts down. That's the south end of it, and we're walking north up the hill, and just to see how much road frontage that we have. Now we're on an arc, so the frontage on the lake, which is actually a bank, will not a flat but a bank. The frontage down there will be less than up here. This is over 200 feet, and we end right here where that trailer is. It shows 239 there, and it's over 200 for road frontage and less than 200 for lake frontage. This is the inside of our place. It's a 24 by 43, roughly 1,000 square feet. And here you're going out the door to the east, and that's where we park out front, right out there. And so let's see what we got coming up here. That shows where we are, Crystal Lakes, and this is where we were building it from 2001 to 2004. So anyway, here we're hooking these beams, hooking the beam up there. We're building that beam with a C-clamp and plywood and tuba-tins, and then those posts will hold the beam up, and your tuba-tin floor joists will go on top of that beam and out to the edge of the foundation. So here we're pouring some concrete, and they go in, hold the box and the pole, the pipe square, and doesn't let it shift around everything. And here we're still building on that beam for the floor joists, and we'll put a tuba-tin on top of that, clamp it down with the clamps, nail it down, let it sit for 24 hours, and then do it again until we get to the height that we wanted. And here we are at that height where it's square across there, and we're setting up our tuba-tin floor joists, and they are 12 inches apart, and which makes for an extremely strong floor. Now here is our I think we had 3/4 plywood decking for the floor out there, and then we put a sealer coat on it to try to keep some of the rain off, or keep stuff off while we were working on it. So here we're putting up a wall, or a piece of a wall anyway. We had to put them up in pieces as they went, and we're both over here. We're in our 60s here, so we're doing as good as we can. And I'm going on 80 here in a little over a year, so 80 is a big number. You don't do a lot of climbing after you're 80, or you shouldn't. Now here we're putting on braces on the roof rafters, and put them up there, clamp them, C-clamp, clamp them down with a C-clamp, get them level, and then glue them and screw them to the thing. Now this is where we came out another, I think, 15 foot or so on a floor to make the place bigger. And we put the post, I think we had 8 posts, put them in concrete, and then build a beam on top of the post, and then put laminated floor joists, 2 tuba-tins, and a plywood middle from the foundation out to the beam. And that will be the floor. There's one of the beams there. You'll have floor joists across that, and then the joists will go out towards the street, and then plywood on top, and you got another room. And this will be the room where you'll see the screen door. That's the floor for that room where you see the screen door later, which goes to the east. And we were underneath this floor down there, putting in those posts which holds this floor up. So that's kind of how the construction was. So Anyway, my screen just stopped. I hope yours didn't. But we'll keep on going here and see what happens. I can't tell anything going on. There we are. I'm back now. Okay. There we're putting up some more roof rafters. And there is the house or the cabin, the structure partially built, as you can see. And now here the building inspector came in and wanted me to put more bracing for the ceiling roof ridge. I had a 2x6, and when he got done with me, I put a 2x10 under the 2x6 and then put 3/4 plywood on both sides with glue and that big heavy duty nailer right there. So that's all the way down. I think it was, I don't know, 50 feet of of added 2x10s and plywood and glue and construction adhesive and nails and whatever you get your hands on. But it worked, and that is one strong roof. It does not give. It'll be there for probably 1,000 years if it don't burn down. But here's one of the boards. How we did it: you cut them to fit up in between the stuff, and filled it full of construction adhesive, and slide it in up there on top, as you can see. Take her on down in there, then run down and go in and get on the other ladder and climb up and grab it, bend it up, pound it in place, get that glue all squashed down, then grab the nailer, start banging away, and you just do it over and over, and you finally get there. Sometimes it seems like you won't, but you do. But this place has a septic system, but which works for me, but I don't know if it would pass state inspection or not. But when I grew up, we had an outhouse at home, so anything is better than that in my world anyway. So anyhow, here we're on the roof. We're putting down some roof decking, they call it, and I cut them into 4 or 2 foot wide sheets so that I didn't have to lift quite so much. It worked okay for me. I got no problem at all with it. Those 4x8s, and you get a good breeze up there, and you're flying across that lake and kill yourself. So anyhow, that's where we are right now. Here we putting up some siding and going up the ladder, and good ladders. Ladders are expensive too, I'll tell you. We bought some Pelicans there, but when we started, bought 2 12-footers, 2 8-foots, 2 6-foots, and a good step ladder, or a good extension, and about $1,000 back 20 years ago. So ladders are high. But I think that was some Pelicans there. I believe that's what that is. So anyway, I left it in. And here we're getting ready to do some wiring. We got some people and came in and did some wiring and put in a box. And you may notice later that the box that you see here is not the one that's in the thing now. I apparently took this one out and put a 200 amp in, because there's a 200 amp in it now. So I got a 200 amp box in it now. But the source for the electricity is on the pole, which you'll see after a while. And it's not like from the top of the pole with the wiring like you see on a regular house. They got a meter with a couple outlets below it, and that's what we have for this right now. It can be changed, but it would take some kind of electrical inspector, and they would have to get with Clay Platt and have them change it out. So that's something you may or may not be interested in, whoever winds up here. But anyway, this box is not in it, but I had a 200 amp box. I put it in. So 23. Okay, now we're in present year. Those others was 20 years ago. This is present. We're cleaning and getting ready to either use the place or maybe sell it. We're discussing it now. Here we're building a bridge across that area from the basement where they dug it out with the track hoe. This is so you don't have to walk down to the basement and come up the stairs. So this is just kind of a small venture that I had some extra lumber. I figured this would be a good use for it. It's hot out there too. But you can see I got to get a weed eater out there. It is here. My screen is stopped. I don't know if yours has or not. We'll wait here a minute and see if it kicks in or not. But anyway, that bridge, if it's not, that bridge there is made of 4x4s and a red oak rough cut 1-inch lumber. So I'm not having any luck here at all. I hope this thing takes off in a minute so we'll know what's going on. I don't know if it's locked up or what it's doing. Come on, baby, do something. Well, nothing happening here on my end at all. There we're going again for something. I'm not sure if we're behind or ahead. We'll treat it like we're okay. But anyhow, there's some boards we're putting down and to walk on, and I'm hoping they will warp into place and have a place to walk if it's like wet or something. Here I'm digging another post or post hole, put a post in, and put a couple 2x6s or 2x8s across there and keep anybody from falling down in that ditch. This is June the 6th. We are doing here. We've got a screen door. Got a new screen door put up and keep us from having to walk around all the time. And it looks like we're going to do a little painting. Yeah, there's our pan. And I think that is that's oil-based primer. That's what that is. I had a half a can of it. It looked like a pretty good use for it, so it should be a good base for the next coat. That oil base is pretty good stuff. So, but there's a lot of wildlife out here, and it needs some work. It needs some finishing, but it is a good sturdy beginning. And there's a lot of land. But you got 3 lots on this side of the road, 1 lot on the other side of the road, and I think it totals to about an acre, maybe total. A lot of woods. Now what I'm doing here is I'm building a new extension cord to run down to that light pole I was talking about, where you get your electricity from. So yeah, that was a big old bumblebee right there. If you was watching, well, he was a big one too. I remember him coming in. Here's the pole with the outlets, and that's a 50. They call that a 50 amp plug. And here I'm testing to see if the juice is coming up to the place or not. And apparently it is, because I'm skinning back some wires and getting some stuff straightened out here. But there's that box that I put in. That is not like not the one that you saw earlier. Here's the screen door. We're finally going to get it installed. And this is the room that is over the cantilevered pit with the 8 posts and the laminated floor joists. That's the room this is. It's the one to the east. So you got one big room, which is 31 by 24, and then you got the other room, which is about, I don't know, 24 by 12 or 15 or whatever it figures out. This is the basement. This is the beam that holds it all up. These are the posts that hold it all up. That is the 2x10 roof or floor joists that hold it all up. 12-inch centers. And next you'll see the laminated that goes out over that one room we was talking about. And then we'll go up and you'll be in the room. Things about done with. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you understood it. And take care.